much as I wanted to write this for you guys today, I actually had to write it for myself. You know, I want to speak about fear. And one of the greatest fears that people have is actually public speaking. Well, I won't lie, I feel nervous, I feel a little fearful. There are so many people in this room that I just don't know. And so I wanted to write this a little bit for myself as well as for you guys too. All right, so what do we do? What do we do when we feel fearful? What do you do? Yeah, so there's two things that most people do when they feel fearful. They either forget everything and they run, or they face everything and they rise. So there are some things in life that make people really afraid. And one of the things that make people really afraid, in fact, so afraid that they even feel paralyzed, is public speaking. Why do you guys think that people would feel so paralyzed at public speaking? One would be that they would feel judged by people. Maybe people would judge the way they look, or the way they speak, or the way that they don't make sense, or the way they say huh and a little too many times. Some people are afraid of heights. So they go to a really tall building and maybe they're going to be afraid that they're gonna fall. Some people are afraid of closed spaces. Some people are afraid of animals. Now, this is something that a lot of people feel fear towards. Starting a new business. That could be really fearful for people. Starting a new business, maybe ending a career and starting something new. There's an anticipation that you feel when you're gonna start a new business. There's an anticipation of like, hey, well, if this thing works out, like I can actually make a lot of money. No longer will I have a boss to talk to or have to answer to. Now I can be my own boss. And you can map everything out perfectly. The to-dos, the goals, what you'll sell, and everything in your mind will run smoothly until reality hits, right? Until the first bill is due, until nothing is selling. And that reality can turn to fear really quick. So what do you do when you're in that fearful state? So one thing that you can do, so these right here, these are like little practical things that you can do the next time you feel fear, okay? So this is a very common thing that people do. They just want to get in their bed and they just kind of want to hide. They just kind of want to hope that this fear or something will happen and they'll feel happy again, or they'll feel like they made a great sale or something. But a lot of people want to hide under their covers. But instead of hiding under your covers, the next time you feel fear, I encourage you to do this. Take a walk and pass out 10 business cards. If you did this every time you felt fear, your business would actually grow in a substantial amount of time. So let's take it this way, right? So let's say you're wanting to start a business, you pass out 10 business cards a day. That would be 7 days a week. That would turn into 70 business cards that you passed out in 1 week. What would that look like after 52 weeks of passing out business cards? In 52 weeks, you would pass out 3,640 business cards in 52 weeks. That's 1 year of just being intentional about passing out 10 business cards. That is a lot of business cards. That's a lot of revenue that's potential to your business in just 1 year. And how much would that be in 10 years of doing that? And how long does it really take to pass out 10 business cards? It only takes about 10 minutes, really. Over the course of 10 years, you would have passed out 36,000 business cards. 36,400 business cards in 10 years of just being intentional. That's a very good way of fighting fear. being intentional about what you're gonna do. Another thing that you can do, when people actually feel fearful, one thing that they do is that they TMI. What does TMI stand for? Too much information. Why do they do that? Because they're afraid. So then they just start like vomiting over their friend or over their coworkers about like what's not consistently happening in their business. So I encourage you, be quiet and start asking people about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. Ask questions. Ask people about their business. Look for people who want to share. And what you're doing when they start to overshare is you're trying to find a solution to their problem. Because before you know it, they're gonna TMI all over you. And once they do that, what do? You listen and you find a solution to their problem. So for me, I would be like, just waiting for them to start talking about how dirty their house is. And that would be my time to jump in and say, hey, I've got a solution to your dirty house. And that would be another way that I could grow my business. Another thing to fight off fear would be this. Stop surrounding yourself with negative people. Every time you're feeling afraid or you're feeling worried about something, why don't you look for somebody that you actually look up to, somebody that you actually admire? Don't go near Uncle Fred, Uncle Fred is always talking about the recession. He's always talking about his friend Paul, who just lost his job, or his cousin Sue, who was just fired. Oh wow, after hanging out with Uncle Fred for just even 10 minutes, you're like stressed out. You're like, man, is my business gonna make it? Is this gonna really work? No, why don't you look for people that have goals, people that wanna accomplish something in life? Look for those types of people. So, I just wanted to just remind you guys that fear does not have to overtake you. But you can use fear as a catapult. You can actually use fear to catapult into the future, into believing in yourself. The definition of a catapult is this: a ballistic device that uses stored potential energy to launch projectiles at high speeds and great distances without gunpowder. You don't even need gunpowder to use a catapult. Next time you feel afraid, take that fear that's all stored up inside of you and say, I'm not gonna take it this way. I'm not gonna accept this fear. I'm gonna do something with it. And think about all the different ways that you can catapult your business. And that's all I have for you today.